Hi. In this tutorial, we're going to review the Presentations screen within Digital Measures. Let's click on the Presentations hot link to open the submenu. Here you will see that I've added several presentations already into Digital Measures. Presentation projects should be entered by the lead P&W person involved in the presentation. This may or may not be the main presenter. It is best if there are multiple P&W people involved in the presentation project to discuss who will be responsible for entering and tracking the project data in Digital Measures with the entire group of P&W members. Once the lead person enters the presentation information and all of the project participants, all P&W staff and/or faculty that are listed will be able to view the presentation project details in their own presentation screen. They will not, however, have the ability to change the information in the project. That can only be done by the person that originally entered the project into Digital Measures. If you see a discrepancy in the presentation data, contact the lead person for the presentation to have it corrected. Digital Measures will automatically put your presentation entries in descending date order for you. The records you create in this screen are used to populate your resume, CV, and faculty evaluation reports. We can add a new item into this presentation, so we can add a new presentation activity into this submenu by clicking the Add a New Item. Remember, all of the red asterisk fields are required in order to save this activity. So we need to, for sure, add a presentation type. So we'll pretend like we're creating a lecture presentation. And then we need to add a conference meeting name or a description of that presentation. So perhaps I'm just going to type in test presentation as my name. And sponsoring organization. So perhaps it is a presentation that I'm giving at P&W for P&W participants. So P&W would be the sponsoring organization. So for the venue, I could add in the actual room number that presentation was going to occur, and then city, state, country. And if I have a title for that presentation, I could also add that here. And if I don't have an official title figured out yet, I can go ahead and just put in, let's type in a preliminary presentation title. And once I have the actual name figured out, I can come back and edit this entry and add that actual name. But it is a required field, so I have to have something here in order to save it. Now additionally, automatically it adds me as the presenter and author of this presentation. If you have multiple people working with you in this presentation, perhaps they're not all presenting, perhaps some of them are just authoring some of the content or providing some other type of help with their project. You want to add them here. So I'm going to add 2 more people by clicking on the number 2 and click add, so that it will add 2 more empty presenter boxes. And then I can go ahead and select my test staff member here, who I'm going to say is helping me with this project, and put it in their role. So I need to also put my role in. So I'm going to put author and presenter for myself, and no, I'm not a student. And then for the role of that test staff member, I'm going to say they are a presenter, but they didn't do any of the authoring, let's say. And we're going to say no, they're not a student. And then I'm going to say that I also had a student that also helped, and they were also a presenter. And I would say yes for, is this a P&W student? And then I need to choose the meeting type. So is this a conference, a panel, a roundtable, a session? I would call this probably a session. And then academic or non-academic. Well, it's definitely academic because it's happening here and it's a school-related topic. And then for the scope of this is actually just a local, something that we're doing just within the university. And then the rest of these fields are not required. And so you can leave these blank for now if you want to, and then come back and fill them out later. I'm going to go ahead and choose my field of study. And the rest of this, the only other field that I need to make sure that I fill out is I have to have at least a month and a date, a month and a year, in one of the date fields. So either the start date of the presentation project or the date of the presentation, if I know what the date is. For this, I'm going to say that I've already done this presentation, and it happened in July of 2015. Oops. And then I'm going to save this project. And now you will see that test presentation right here. Now, if I need to delete this project, I can click on that delete on this checkbox next to the name of the presentation project. And when I do that, this delete button became prominent. See, if I uncheck it, the delete button grays out, and I don't actually have the ability to click on it. But once I click that box, that delete button becomes prominent again. And I would just simply click the delete button, and it would ask me, are you sure you want to do this? And you click yes, and then it will delete the project. But I'm going to leave this project in here, and I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log back in as that test staff member so that you can see what that test staff member can see about the presentation that I entered their name in. So we're going to click log off, and I'm going to log back in. Oops, sorry, I logged in as the faculty instead of the staff. Okay, and so now I'm going to go into the presentation screen, and you can see that preliminary presentation that I added. So as you can see, this test staff member only has view access to this project. So if I click on that icon there with the magnifying glass, it opens up that same activity that I just entered on my screen, and it shows the test staff member all of the details of that project, but it doesn't give them any ability to edit any of this information or delete or change any of it. So again, if they see a discrepancy in this data, then they will need to contact the person that entered it in order to get those changes made. So I can click return and cancel and go back to that, and you can tell who it was that entered it because Digital Measures actually puts that person's name here. And you can actually even click on that person's name and choose MS Outlook if you're logged into your MS Outlook already, and it will send them an email, which I'm not logged in right now, but that's how that will work. So it'll actually put their email address in there for you, and you can, oops, sorry, cancel. Yes, there we go. And then you can just send them a quick email and say, hey, by the way, such and such information that's in that presentation project that you just entered is incorrect. Can you get that fixed? And it'll just send them an email. And like I said, you have to have your MS Outlook open and you're logged into your PNW account in order to be able to make that happen. But if you are, it works really nice. You just click on that person's name and boom, your Outlook will come up with that person's email and you can send an email out. If you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call, but this is basically the gist of the presentation screen within Digital Measures. Thanks for viewing, and we'll see you again.